Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Bloodborne no healing video walkthrough. This is very dangerous what I'm about to show you. I recommend this for new players and experienced players alike because I truly oh, that was disappointing. You see that bullshit? I kept that in because I thought it was funny. So, if you don't know what I'm doing here, I'm trying to die by the kidnapper. Because if you die by him, it will transport you to Yahar'gul, the unseen village, which is where I am right now. But if you noticed, he didn't kill me. It was the other guy that killed me, and it still took me here. Which is really good news. But this place is so dangerous, folks, it's not even funny. If you're having trouble with Bloodborne, you're going to have to learn real fast here, or you're going to be in a world of hurt. The good news is, you'll become a better player once you pass the crucible and you come out the other side, because there's nothing like a trial by fire to make you learn a game slightly quicker. And I'm making you come here because it is the quickest and most effective way of powering up your character and your weapons the earliest possible opportunity. Once again, this might no longer be true because they've changed the game.
I was seized on the street by a hulking brute in the cathedral ward and locked up here. There were many others, but they've been taken away. And I've heard moans echoing in the distance ever since.
But as of recording, folks, I had beaten this game maybe about 10 times before I decided to do my walkthrough. I did this for a good reason. Some people might think that that's excessive. If you've ever played these kind of games, I think you'll understand why I chose to do that. I fervently believe you never know enough about these games. You just don't. You think you do, but that's because we're arrogant like that. The ego is a powerful tool. And I learnt that with Dark Souls, which is one of my all-time favourite games, but I made a walkthrough for that game, having beaten it 3 times, and I thought I knew everything, and then a year and a half later, when I'd beaten that game over 100 times and done things that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy, out of pleasure because I loved it so much, I realised just how little I knew. So I vowed from that point onwards that if I was going to make walkthroughs for this series, I would have to invest the time. And I did the same with Dark Souls 2. I beat that game with every single build you could make, outside of, super eclectic hybrid bullshit. I tried every single weapon, I tried every single spell, I tried all of it, and then I made a walkthrough and told you the ways that would help you, I felt, the most effective for newer players. And this is no different. Dark Souls 3 will be no different. It's the way I've chosen to approach them. So after all my exploration with the game, all my knowledge, I didn't have the guide at the time. By the way, be careful of that doorway. If these witches grab you, with my life at this point, it's probably an instant kill, and it's a grab, so you can't block it. You're just in it, and you just have to survive it. It's very cheap, I'm not a fan of it, but it's kind of funny too, because we've all fallen for it, and if you haven't, you're very lucky. But in my time with this game, I found a couple of cool ways of getting, more powerful, upgrading your weapons the earliest, and it generally means, blood-starved beast, so it unlocks the upper area, and then from the upper area you can get that jewel if you're going for that, or going to Hemwick Channel Lane early, but even then, it's not as consistent as this area. The kidnapper that I'm fighting right now, who's an incredibly dangerous foe, he has the prospect of dropping the second of the upgrade resources that's going to help us get a very powerful weapon. And the good news about him is he's very easy to parry and riposte, or interrupt and visceral attack. However, he's got so much life, and everything he does to an early character is close to a one-shot, because he's incredibly dangerous. However, he gives really good blood echoes, and he gives really good resources, so if you're going to farm anywhere, I recommend farming here. I didn't do that much farming on this walkthrough. I didn't really do any farming. I got quite lucky with the drops, but if you get a new weapon and you want to get it up to snuff as quickly as possible, come here. This is the place that's going to really help. And an example just there, did you notice how I hit him with a charge attack? It stunned him, I hit him with another charge attack, and it stunned him again. a good way of dealing with them if you're not confident in fighting them is to chain backstab them like that. The only problem is your stamina bar, depending on how long yours is. Mine is not the longest, but yours might be. You know, it's all up to you at the end. But the reason we've come here is singular, to get those upgrade resources. There's also a lot of the, what do I call them, crystal assholes knocking about that are going to give us some good resources, and the pigs give great experience as well. It truly is a veritable bounty for experienced players, but it's a bit of a nightmare for newcomers, because this is a place that's going to get you killed a lot. If you're interested in seeing me get killed here a lot, it's all, you know, to be witnessed in my blind playthrough, where I came here quite early and I got destroyed, but it's all a learning experience, guys. Never look at death in this game as true failure, just look at it as a stepping stone to success, because that's truly what it is. Oh, and be very careful, because the dogs here are assholes. But there's a lot of stuff to be found in this place, and the earlier you get it, the better you'll be. The kidnappers have a 30% chance of dropping twin bloodstones, which is the second resource needed to upgrade. They have a 60% chance of dropping the bloodstones for the first level of upgrade. So here is really good at building up your gun, building up your weapon, building up whatever the hell you choose to use. So it's really cool. And then of course there's just a lot of Madman knowledge, which is incredibly good now, because they've enabled you to buy upgrade resources from the Insight shop. However, it's ludicrously expensive to buy the chunks, which I don't understand why they've done that. It makes no sense to me at all. It's probably still easier to do New Game Plus cycles or run through a Chalice dungeon than it will be to save up the Insight needed to buy enough to upgrade. It seems like a very strange choice, but there it is anyhow. And here is another one of the scurrying demons. But you'll notice my weapon's not up to the snuff here because I'm not doing enough damage at all. But it doesn't matter, because we keep this thing present. There it goes, dropping us resources to make us stronger. It's all an investment for the future areas we're going to navigate. Also, the kidnapper has a 5% chance of dropping the bolt paper, which is an incredibly rare resource and really useful. Some of the bosses are very weak to lightning, so you want to make sure to figure out which ones are and take them down accordingly. Round this corner is easily the most dangerous encounter in this area once you know what you're doing, just because the dogs have this random nature to not do what they normally do, and then other times they do, and then randomly the guy will jump punch you and one-shot you. So I think this is very dangerous. It's entirely preference at the end of the day. Everybody seems to struggle with different areas of these games, but I think this is a tougher one. The reason I'm going down here is A, to kill him and hopefully get a drop, and B, to pick up some of the resources that are passed this way. But this is very early in the game for this, and I appreciate that for the people that might be struggling, but trust me when I say this, if you can push through this, and you can put up with this and get good at this, the rest of the game is going to be nowhere near as punishing as it would be without these trials. So there is his punch. It's very slow, it's very telegraphed. Punish it accordingly. Be aware that he has multi-hit combos that are much faster than this, and if he does any of those, they will put you into a flinch animation that can be very difficult to recover from and survive, and you will die. But there are worse things, it seems, during the nightly hunts. But there was a good drop. Here comes the dog. I tried to shoot it to interrupt it, it doesn't work, and then I finish it off with a quick stun lock. You'll notice I'm favouring the transformation attack. I do this because for the stamina it consumes, and for the speed of it, it is the most powerful attack you can do with this weapon. It is godlike. And then we come down here, there is some more resources. Over here is another resource, and I think this opens up a shortcut, or is it locked from this side? No, this is the one that opens the shortcut. So this is a shortcut to the area where those witches were waiting to ambush us at the door. So if you... Oh, is that alive? No, it's dead. Keep your eye out for those scurrying demons though, they're incredibly useful. But we'll return to the lantern. I'm going to go back to Hunter's Dream. I'm going to upgrade a lot of things with what we've just picked up, and then I'm going to come back for Paarl. Or Paarl, sorry. He's not called Pan. Pan was a subscriber of mine that I've not seen in a long time. But this is my stats anyhow. I'm currently level 33. I'm putting everything into strength, a little into endurance, and I believe my vitality is what I started with, because I do not level up vitality much in this game. But we have a lot of strength, however we're not really using equipment that benefits it so well, and that's just because you'll notice the scaling on both of these weapons at the moment is D, and D is not good scaling, and I'm alternating between both of them. The higher the level the weapons are, the more gems you can put in them. The more gems, the more power you can have. Going back to power too, I mentioned getting strong early on. Another very successful way of getting strong early on is to jump the wall next to Iosefka's clinic, go through the Forgotten Woods, get the invitation to Cainhurst, kill the witch, kill Amelia so that you can get to Cainhurst. Is it Amelia that you need to kill, or is it just... Actually, you might not have to kill Amelia, you might just have to kill Gascoigne, get into Cainhurst, and then from that point onwards, if you can farm that area with the Children of Antiquity, which are very, very dangerous, but they do have a drop rate for blood chunks. It's not as good as the werewolves in the upper cathedral, but it's still an option. And then a lot of the stuff you can get there gives you a ton of experience, but... This is me showing you some rare footage of the shop. I'm not going to be showing a lot of this because I just don't think it's necessary. You should be doing this type of stuff between every encounter, between every level. And just because you don't see me doing it doesn't mean I'm not doing it, guys. But just then, I used a Blood Vial to heal the fall damage, which is probably pointless because if I'd have warped into the area, it would have given me a full heal anyway, so I'm not entirely sure why I did that. However, I need to enter this zone with full life because I'm going to be taking on a boss that can easily kill me. The good news is, I know how Paarl works, and I know how he works because I fought him in one of the Chalice dungeons. Speaking of full life, do you see the damage that guy just did? Goodness me. These things are so dangerous. Whenever he gets enraged just then, it's a fantastic opportunity to try and get in a backstab to the visceral attack. I don't recommend doing this if you're going for the boss. I'm doing it because I've done it 1,000 times, and I'm just stupid like that. But that's what I was speaking of anyhow. There's the backstab. The nice visceral attack. And there is the kill. And there is... Look at the loot. We're getting such good loot. I'm really happy to see that. And now we can push on and we can sprint to the boss. So in the cursed dungeon... One of the cursed dungeons, I forget which one it is. It's one of the deeper ones. You have to take on Paarl, and he has so much life and such an immunity to being staggered because the impact just doesn't do the same against him, that you can't flatten him. Like, I killed this boss without flattening it, which makes no sense, and it had like 15,000 life. But what I did discover is there is a method of dodging the electricity when you're underneath it by iframing through it with a dodge. It's not that hard to do either, but you are not going to do it your first attempt unless you've got fantastic timing. So the strategy here is simple. You need to dodge his attack, you need to get under him, and you need to weaken his leg. So wait for it, and roll. So as soon as he gets his head down, watch him, and the moment he goes to raise his head up, that's when you roll. If done correctly, you will completely power your way through it. Once you knock him down, you need to keep him down. And the best way to do this is to be aggressive and hit a different limb. Every time you hit a different limb, it'll put him down for another duration. He has to get away from you to get his electricity back. If you do not give him the opportunity, you will kill him. And that is exactly what you're about to see. And it looks really easy, but this is a fight that can go wrong in seconds, and this is a fight that I do not recommend new players doing as early as I just did. However, I've done it like that to prove that you can. Everything on this game, folks, can be overcome by your own ability and your own knowledge, and that's what makes them so rewarding and so interesting to play. Do not be scared of anything. Just let it beat you up for an hour or two, maybe more, and then learn to fight back. And that literally is the philosophy of Bloodborne in a teacup. So thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.